About my sight, a little time after being born, I have developed a double glaucoma with both eyes. I have lost the right eye. Perhaps I have seen with the right eye till 1 or 2 years.
Ah,
But I could see with the left eye a third of the normal sight.
when did you lose sight entirely?
I could see with this little sight till uh, 10 years and a half. I've got an accident. Child of the school gave me a punch on the left eye,
Oh,
which caused a detachment of the retina. I have been operated, but the operation hasn't succeeded and remained blind during the first years till 17, 18. I could see the difference between day and night. I could see the light, the sun, also the light, uh, a bulb, the light in a house. When I was uh, enough near the light, I could see it. After 17, 18, 19, I don't know, I lost my whole sight. And when I visited specialists, doctors, they explained me that they couldn't do anything for me because the optic nerves were atrophied, were dead.
okay. At the current time, you're 100% blind. Do you see any light at all, Rob?
I don't see anything. If you ask me to visualize blue, red, yellow in general, no es un problem for me.
Okay.
I remember the colors and I
Right.
can visualize them very easily.
You've read in the past and you know letters from when you were young and you know colors, you will be able to open up your mind sight. If a blind person has never seen, it's very difficult. It's not
Oh,
impossible. In
I
your
know.
case, you already know what it feels like to see and
See,
you can visualize it. So your chance of having success here is very good. It's excellent.
I can give you another example, another experience. Uh, if you ask me to tell you what is the color of my pullover or whatever, I can do it. But pretty often, suddenly, I have a big impression of the color which is around me. And if I
Yeah.
ask people who are here, when there are some, uh, at each time it's correct. That had happened between 20 or 30 times.
Okay. So that is a very, very good sign, Rob. So all we're going to do now is we're going to formally practice this and make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Anybody can see with their mindset. For children, it's very easy. They
I,
can
I have heard
learn,
I have heard that. I have seen that.
yeah,
Yeah.
they can learn in hours or days. And I've taught them myself. And for me, there is no challenge there at all because the kids you just have to tell them they can do it and they do it.
ah,
For an adult, there's very few people teaching adults because it's harder.
Mm,
you know, and there's very few people teaching blind people because it takes a while and you have to have patience.
mm,
And the person who's learning has to really want to do it. Over the weeks and the months, your eyesight, your mind sight will develop more and more.
ouais, yeah.
And I can't say whether it will be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or a year, but you will gradually get better and better at this, Rob.
Mm, mm.
And eventually you will see the room. We're going to get started here in a few minutes, Rob.
I remember the colors. I remember the shapes. I know what a tree is. I remember many things.
So let me explain things a little bit here. You know, when we're in our conscious mind, many people will say we're in our left brain. You
Yes,
know, our logical, reasoning, rational,
yes,
intellectual, ego-based side.
yes.
And now, bear in mind that a lot of this is metaphorical too, Rob. It may not be exactly correct, but it's a good way to think of things that helps people understand what we're doing. So, you know, if it's not exactly true, don't worry about it. It's
Yes,
just a simple way for people to understand things that make sense. But
I,
there may be more detailed or exact explanations for people that are in the medical field and maybe understand more.
mhm.
So let's not worry or get hung up on that part of it. The important thing is, you know, during our day to day, we are willfully going about our business generally in our left brain.
Yes.
But we have our right brain, which is the creative, intuitive side.
Mhm.
And many people say that when you daydream, you are passing over to your right brain. And, you know, when you sleep, maybe you're in your right brain.
Mhm.
And you really don't control that. It just wanders around like a drunken soldier. You're just a passive observer watching, like when you dream.
Yes.
You're just watching what's going on, you're not controlling it. Now, with Mindsight, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to be a passive observer and just observe what's happening in your visual screen. In other words, there is a slight difference between what you can imagine, because our brains are very powerful and we can imagine whatever we want to imagine. That's a good thing. This is how we can create things and get along in the world. Now, with this ability, you will start to see visual effects in the blackness of your mind, you know, in your visual screen. There is a slight difference between what your mind sight gives you and what your imagination gives you.
Yes.
Okay? There is a slight difference.
Yeah.
And when you see it appear, you will know that that is your mind sight. It's not your imagination because it's stronger and more definite. You know, your imagination, you create, where the mind sight, when you see visual, you know, we'll start off with colors and symbols and letters and numbers. When you see it appear, it will feel a little different to you,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes. I can understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to tell me what you're imagining because we can imagine anything.
Yes.
But I just want you to be a passive observer, like somebody looking out their window and different things are going by, and you just report to me what you're seeing.
Mm.
Even when you're looking out your window and you see cars go by and you're reporting that to me, for example, you can still imagine, and you can imagine all kinds of things. But you will tell me, but Rob, what I actually see is a car going by.
I
So
understand.
this will be the thing is we are looking for what your brain actually gives you, and they say it's coming from the right brain. It's
Mm,
coming from that intuitive side. Now, in order to access that, Rob, it's important to get very relaxed
yes,
and let go of your thinking brain. In other words, we are so used to when somebody is talking already formulating what we want to say. And as soon as the person finishes, we're ready with something to say. That's our
yes,
left
yes,
brain.
yes.
Always, always has different answers ready to go.
Mm,
So, what I'm going to ask you is to become more of a passive observer. And we're going to work on quietening down all the monkey chatter of your left brain.
mm,
It's not important at all in this ability.
mm.
Everything you think tends to move you away from your mindsight. For example, even when you see things and you get excited, the minute you get excited, it will disappear because
Yes,
now you're moving into your left brain with all kinds of discussion about what you just saw. So everything we will do will try to keep you relaxed and not get excited, but you can feel happy. And when you feel good feelings, that is also connected to your mind site. For example, if I say something and you laugh in a genuine way, you will have a direct and momentary connection to your mind site. Okay. For those few seconds that you find something funny and you feel that funniness and you laugh, I have seen this hundreds of times with Claudia and others. You will see what card I'm showing on your screen. You will have a direct connection. So be aware that when you laugh authentically, be watching your screen, but watch in a very passive way. Like, do not concentrate.
yes,
Just just be because concentration, Rob, is a function of the left brain.
yes.
So I want you to do the opposite. In other words, take an attitude that you don't really care. Okay? Because when you really care and get involved with something, that fires up the left brain big time.
Mm,
And it's not helpful in this ability. We're trying to access that part of your brain that's always on and is always in the background. But our ego based left side of the brain is the filter,
yes.
and it's the gatekeeper, and it's always blocking out much of what the right
I,
brain gives. You are seeing with your mind sight right now. You have been doing this since you were a kid already. But the left brain blocks most of it out because it says, well, this is impossible. I don't believe this. So I will block this out. So in our sessions, you will come to believe that this is real. And this gatekeeper function of your left brain will slowly release the stranglehold that it has on your mind sight.
yes.
And it will realize that, hey, this can help us. This is real. And I'm going to lift up the gate. All during our life, because of our experiences, what we were told by our parents, what we learned from our friends, and the environment around us, we develop a belief system.
Yes.
And you know all about these things from your work yourself.
Yes, yes.
And
I could say many things you have just said that's what I say to people uh, who I help to recognize what they feel, and to recognize what they feel, they have to stop thinking.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's the same.
So now I'll be getting you to, this expression in English is practice what you preach. So you're going to be doing the very same things that you are teaching all your patients.
Yes, yes,
And,
yes.
and you probably already are doing many of those things.
Mm,
But, we have a belief system. And the issue with Mindsight is we were never told about it as a young person.
for sure.
And now, as a human being, we were born with it.
Hmm.
Okay. But if little children started demonstrating it very quickly, the parents would tell them to stop,
Yes, clear.
that that is something bad or whatever. So even if you did it as a child, the chances are high that your parents steered you away from it, not knowing about its true benefits. The truth is, we go through life not knowing this is possible. We go through life believing the opposite. So those beliefs are very strong within us. What we're really going to do here, Rob, is slowly but surely, you're going to be changing your belief system over the weeks and months,
Hmm.
so that that system is it lines up with the idea of being able to see when you're blind. The biggest problem that adults have when they are learning Mindsight is their own belief system. And we have to dismantle it one circuit at a time. We do it in a long period of time, so it's not harmful to anybody. It's a slow process in which the person themselves wants to do this because they want to have the benefit of being able to see blindfolded. So they are willingly doing this, all in a beneficial way. Try to just go along with all my craziness and try not to have a critical mind that you would normally have. Try to suspend that. Just know that I've gone through this myself. I can see colors and numbers and symbols that somebody puts up in front of me when I have my blindfold on. So I can do this.
Hmm.
Okay. So anything that you are thinking or feeling, I have already gone through this myself.
Ah,
So I will be able to relate anything that you say is going on because I've experienced it myself, practicing hundreds
okay.
of hours with this. Very few things you'll be able to tell me that I haven't already experienced around this, okay, over the last 4 years.
Hmm.
So I would just ask you to be a passive observer, and we're going to do some exercises and just go along with it. Now, you may find yourself getting bored and you may start yawning. I can tell you also, when you fall into that state, really good time for me to hold up the colors and symbols for you, because that is your left brain letting go and you're tending to get into that hypnagogic state. And if we keep going, you'll eventually fall asleep in front of my screen. That is all good, okay?
Okay.
If you get so relaxed that I see your head fall, that is perfectly okay. Because Wendy did that to me many times, and when she saw my head start to go down, without saying anything, she would grab a color and quietly say, Rob, what color am I holding up in the screen? And I would get it right every time.
Ah,
So don't worry about trying to be alert. Don't worry about trying to stay awake. It's better if you don't. It's better if you start daydreaming. It's better if you fall into that hypnagogic state, because we will access your mind sight faster, Rob. Everything that I will be telling you is gained through my own personal experience with this.
see,
So I've experienced it, and many of the things that I will ask you to do, I'm asking you to do them because I've seen success with them.
mm,
And there's little tricks to help get us out of the left brain and connect us to the right brain. There's little tricks that we can employ, and some of them are really silly. And I remember at the beginning with my teacher, in my own mind, I was very critical. And I was saying to myself, oh, this is stupid. This is childish. This is, why would she do that? And I was fighting,
ah,
as we do in any discussion, right?
mm,
And finally, she said to me, Rob, it doesn't matter. Just let go, follow along. These are just little tricks to help you get away from that same mind that is fighting me, to move that mind aside and try to move into the right brain. And finally, I acknowledged that and I stopped fighting with her. So, Rob, the very first exercise I'm going to have you do is, in front of you, draw circles with both your hands. So that's the right speed. Now just keep going in circles. Now, while you put your attention on the right hand, change the direction of your left hand. Okay? Now, while you put your attention on the right hand, change your right hand, the direction.
okay.
Okay. Now, do you feel how difficult that is?
Yes, that is.
Because it's your left and right brain that are fighting here.
Ah,
Okay. I have 4 cards. I have a yellowy orange card. I have a green card. I have a blue card, and I have a red card. And I'm going to take one of those cards. Okay. And I'm going to put it in your screen. The card is in your screen, Rob. What I want you to do is pretend to go out to the screen with your mind sight. So send your energy out to the screen in front of you and allow your mind sight to pick up the color that's in your screen in front of you in real time in this moment. There's a color and I'm waving it around to create some action. And move your head around, because some people see from their forehead, some see from their one temple,
yes.
and some see from the other temple. Some people see from under their
Ah,
chin. So
ah.
move to all 4 spots and tell me if you see a very vague color that keeps appearing. Don't concentrate, just be a passive observer and see what your mindset gives you, not your imagination, just whatever it gives you. Which one of those 4 colors momentarily appears?
At the beginning, uh, 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 simply an impression of clarity, or what we could say a color very clear at the beginning. Then yellow.
And yellow is the color. That's absolutely correct. Well done, Rob. Well done. And I don't want you to concentrate on anything. I just want you to let go. Now I'm going to reach for my 7 symbols here, and I'm going to put one of those in the screen. It could be a circle, a plus, a triangle, a square, and it could be open or closed if it's one of those 3 things. So which one shows up briefly in the blackness of your visual screen? And bear in mind, you may only see a part of it. You may only see one side or one corner. So if you get a glimpse of one side or one corner, then you have to say, well, okay, that's a circle, or that's a square, or that's a triangle, or that's a plus. So just let go, move your head around in case your mind sight is coming from your left temple, and pretend you've got a beam that comes out. It could be coming out from any one of those 4 spots. Over time, we're going to determine where your mind sight is coming from. Quite often when somebody starts, it's coming from under their chin. So even lift your head up and see if it's coming from under your chin. There's one of the 7 symbols in your screen, Rob. It may come and go. It may be there for a second. Okay, especially if I get you to smile. Just give me a big smile. Okay.
You want me
Big
to smile?
a big smile.
Okay.
And when you did that, did you see anything? Or even the impression? Sometimes you may get a knowing or an impression. Sometimes you will actually see it. Sometimes you'll see just one part of it. Let go.
During all that time, most all figures came, but the one which was there the most, and which could be there now, the plus sign.
Okay, you're absolutely right. Very good. Well done, Rob. It is the plus sign. Very good.